Hey guys, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to today's session about creating a winning marketing plan for Black Friday 2021. So before we start, I want to ask you guys, is this your first BFCM? If not, if so, raise your hands. If so, if not, drop the number as well. So number of BFCMs you've been through. We want to see how many bits are here. I want to give maybe like 30 seconds so people can drop their. Uday says it's first. So Jamie, we have a wet here. Jamie says it's his third BFCM. It's Ryan's second BFCM. So from the few responses we've got like 3 out of 5 people who are for whom this is the first BFCM they are going to go through. So yeah, I think this is going to be really, really useful for you guys. So in 2020, Shopify store saw like $5.1 billion in sales in just the 4 days. So which was like a 76% increase from the previous year. That is like huge. So and it happened because of the whole pandemic thing. Whoa, we have a veteran here, 6. So it happened because of the pandemic situation. Everyone's locked inside, and they were not in a position to go out and shop. So this year it's been very, I think uncertain is the right word here. We've had vaccines roll out, we had, but new variants popping out. So it's been very tumultuous. So given that, will this year be any different? So personally, I don't think so, because people are starting to go out, but at the same time, the only time that they are going to feel to go outside to shop is when they feel safe, and I don't think people are ready to do this, right? So
have you ever done that?
And what is a good old BFCM without you trampling on your neighbor to get that 85-inch TV, right? So personally, I think this year people are going to stick to their cell phones and computers and make all those purchases. So this BFCM is going to start early. It's going to be huge. Cyber Monday is going to be even bigger. So yep. So yep, it's time to introduce you guys. I think people who joined us a bit early kind of heard us speaking and they probably know you, but for those who joined late, I have 2 speakers here. It is kind of different from the past webinars we have done. I said in the emails as well, right? So we have Jamilya here and Umair. Jamilya is the partnerships manager at Growave. Umair is the founder and CEO at Wigzo. So
yep. Hi everyone.
Hi everybody.
So and like I said, it's not just the speakers that are going to be, number of speakers that is going to be different, the format as well. I'm going to ask a lot of those burning questions on your behalf, and Jamilya and Umair are going to answer them. So we'll have a Q&A at the end. We'll be taking questions. So we hope you have prepared all your questions and you have got coffee. So yep, let's get started. So in our last webinar, we saw how to prepare your store for BFCM, right? So I don't know, like are people from the last webinar here? Can I have a show of hands? If not, we kind of went through the entire process of preparing your store, the entire timeline. So what we did was we created a checklist. We'll be sharing it to you right now in the chat box. So you can download it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be so useful, right? So let's move on to questions. So this speaking of too many moving parts, right? Like you'll have to get your marketing right, you'll have to get your supply chain right, and customer support as well. So too many moving parts, too little time. How do you find the time to focus on marketing, Jamilya? I would love if you could take this question.
Yeah, sure. I think the main thing is to learn how to prioritize, especially if it's like your first Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and no secret, like Q4 is usually the busiest season for like any online store, regardless of your platform or regardless of where you're located. And to ensure that you do have enough resources to actually allocate for that marketing, for example, you will need to set up different automations, and those are usually different softwares or different Shopify apps that will help you to like convert tasks, processes into those automations that will get executed exactly when needed. And that's how businesses can actually do more with what they already have. And the main goal, of course, of any automation is to simplify tasks and then save you time at the same time. Right? A lot of repeating myself today. And e-commerce automations, like they can take many different forms, starting from tagging customers in the backend for easier segmentation, or like streamlining tracking, reordering stocks, reporting, halting high risk orders and stuff like that. And so when it comes to automations, there is no limit to like how far you can take it. There are different examples like fulfillment, again, doing something with customer loyalty, order tracking, discounts, sending wish list reminders and stuff like that. So for example, can you switch the slide? Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, so for example, when it comes to software, especially the ones that are available in Shopify in ecosystem, like one of the really great ones that I can think of is Gorgeous, for example. They do create an automatically create a ticket for you if you receive a low review, so you can handle it and prioritize that customer, maybe try to resolve their issue. And if you are a Shopify Plus merchant, maybe you already have Shopify flows, and that can actually help you to like email your like send an alert to your supplier to restock something. Or if you're using like a loyalty program, you can tag VIP customers for further segmentation to make sure that you actually send relevant marketing materials to those people. Yeah. And when it comes to automations for Black Friday in particular, like I think the first thing that customers should, like Shopify merchants, should be focusing on are the email automations, because usually those are the ones that, well, first of all, they do help you to communicate with your customers. And if you don't know where exactly to start, you can always start with abandoned cart emails, because when it comes to sheer revenue, especially during Black Friday season, those are the ones that can help you recapture 3 to 4% of lost sales that due to the people abandoning their carts. I think that was exactly that. And like, of course, depending, because as we can see, we do have some newbies here that's like that's your first Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or some of the more older ones that have already 6 Black Fridays in their pocket. Yeah, depending on your sales and like purchase volumes, those can bring really great returns, like for a relatively like small amount of effort, especially if you're setting it up in advance to Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
And it's marketing automation is like really cool. Not just emails, you could send push notifications too. So it really your imagination is the limit. Like you could literally I've seen people come up with so many creative ways to automate their entire marketing mechanism. So but the thing about the one I use those, I love automated emails, but the one part I hate about it is that how do you communicate without spamming, right? Like what can we do to make sure that the emails end up in the primary tab and not in the spam folder, or worse, in the social or promotions? I usually check my spam folder once a while, but promotions and social, oh God, no. So Umair, so how do you make sure, how do you communicate your offers to people without spamming them?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And just for everyone who's joined, this is the first one I'm doing. So a very, very brief intro. I built a product called Wigzo, which is a marketing automation tool for e-commerce companies across different new age channels like SMS, push, and WhatsApp. We allow, we capture both behavioral and transactional data from Shopify and allow merchants to build very complex but easy to use journeys. So that was a brief intro, but on to your questions, Venkat. I think spam is a big problem. It's a $1 trillion question. And if anyone could solve it, they would. And I think Google did try it for sure, with Gmail and everything. But I think one of the most important things for merchants to remember is that they're doing this, with the audience that have subscribed to their channels, right? That's how you got their email addresses and phone numbers. For you to be able to send out a email or a SMS or a text message on WhatsApp or even push notification. You got their consent, but you're still landing in spam. Yeah. And why is that? Because you don't have the right strategy built for that channel. And I think this is, and I know it's a very broad way to speak about it. You don't have the right strategy. Like, what does that even mean for a merchant? You don't have the right strategy. And I think we can break it down into smaller parts, right? So first, you segregate channel, and you understand that your customers need to be communicated, but each channel has its own plus points and drawbacks, right? The pros and cons. So the pros of, for example, email is that you can create beautiful emails, but you also have to be below 110 KBs. You can write amazing copywriting, but you also have to make sure it doesn't contain in spam words. So it's a very thin line that you cannot cross, but you cannot also let it hold you back. So you got to create your strategy across all the different channels. Now, similarly, text message, it's so small, it's 160 characters, that's where the real copywriter in you should shine, if you can get their attention in 160 characters, and typically on any channel, a consumer will give you about 7 to 8 seconds of attention span. So if you can get that attention on those channels, right? That's how you can. Now you have the strategy in place. You have the beautiful email with no spam words and highly curated list of people. So email, SMS. You created your strategy. Now, how do you ensure that you don't land in spam or, God forbid, promotion, right? How do you ensure that? So I think it's extremely important that you are personalizing. And then again, personalization is a extremely broad term. Everyone will say, hey, if you personalize, but you think of from a merchant's perspective, who's literally doing his first Black Friday, overwhelmed with orders, doesn't know how to run Facebook ads, or he's trying his best, he's asking his friends. There's supply chain issues, the vendor is not delivering in X product on time, and suddenly your Shopify store is not able to handle some of the traffic, so you're optimizing that as well. So many things. How do you make sure that the merchants are personalizing communication across channels? And I think this is extremely important that you start doing that from day one. Personalization is not a strategy that you deploy, oh, I'll do personalization near Black Friday. You will not have enough data to personalize, right? It's not going to matter near Black Friday if you start personalizing. So personalization has to be day one. It should not be a luxury. It is, it's a need.
Create campaigns across all the different channels. You should be using what we call, and back in the day, I remember personalization in email used to be first name, hi, first name. Today it means it means you can literally have products that the person has visited, viewed, directly populated into emails. So I think you need to understand and the audience. 1:1. Obviously, everyone, including me and the merchants that we work with on a day in, day out basis, they would absolutely love to have each and every single of their customers hyper personalized 1:1. But sometimes you also have to take a step back and say, fine, I might not be able to achieve 100% 1:1 personalization. So what else can you do? What else can be done in that scenario? And I think the answer to that is find out the segments that are important for you. I think this is something that we're going to, if you can just turn the slide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think segmentation, and I would ask Venkat to also this thing, but we have to focus on micro segments and behavioral segments, right? We have to talk about how these market segmentations, how can you divide customers into various segments and then target them with relevant messages, right? So can you target a particular group of customers who bought a particular X product, and show them why? Can you target people who have not bought from you in the last 30, 40, 50 days? Can you target people who have visited on your site over the last 3 months? Things like that. Segmentation are extremely important while devising your strategy. So personalization, if you're not achieving holistic 1:1 personalization, it's important you start. So personalization, how we look at it, is the top of the pyramid, but you don't start at the top of the pyramid. You climb up to the pyramid, right? So you start from the base, and the base is collecting the data. So you have to start now if you want to do that. If you sit down a week before Black Friday and say, oh, how do I segment my customers? But the question would be, did you manage to collect all of that data, right? And then the second follow-up question would be, okay, you did, that's great. You did the first step of the pyramid. The second step is, now, before going to personalization, before reaching the top of the pyramid, let's go to the next step, which is the segments. You create broad segments of customers, people who have bought from you, people who haven't bought from you. Okay, people who have bought from you, you can create multiple subsegments based on product, based on demography, male, female. I want to send out a different email for my female customers. I want to send out a different, I want to send out a text message of people, to people who are not responding to my email. So then you create these micro segmentations based on the behavior, based on demography, based on the transactional data that you have, right? And you will say, how do I get access to psychographic data? You won't, trust me. There are very few products that are built to give you that psychographic information. But at least use the data that you have. You have the transactional data. Segment them by age, by demography, by where are they based? Are they based in Austin, Texas? Do you want to send out a specific email to all of your Austin, Texas customers, or you just so I think that's the second step of achieving true personalization, segmentation, and doing the right set of segmentation. I do think, Venkat, we do have a slide here, I believe, on segmentation. I'm not cutting anyone's time, right?
No, it's okay. It's fine. Like I have found value in what
I get so engrossed with this idea, because when I talk to merchants, and sometimes I just want to, like, oh my God, but it's good. Everyone wants to do well in their business. We want them to do well because at the end that money is going to drip down to us. So it's a win-win. So one of the examples that we had for segmentation, and I'll just very quickly sum up my thoughts on the segmentation. I think there is a slide on recency frequency monetary segmentation, Venkat.
1 second, let me quickly.
So this is an example. Exactly, this is an example of RFM grid that gets created when you install, the product into your Shopify store. This has been created by the virtue of talking to customers, and we realized that 96% of stores are actually not doing RFM segmentation. Now, again, you would say, oh, this is advanced stuff. Why, I don't even have that kind of data. You don't need that kind of data. You need to identify your customers. And that is why, we built this, which is called RFM segmentation, which is recency, frequency, monetary segmentation. So it plots the data on a graph and say, which are the most recent, which are the most frequent, and which are the most highest order. And it then gives you these cohorts of customer automatically called loyalists, potential loyalists, hibernating, churn. And you get all of these segments. So if you got all of these segments, then you can easily send out different types of campaigns. That's your first strategy of achieving true personalization. If you can do that, if you can start segmenting your customers in real time, and then start, thinking about the strategy around how to build around these segments of customer, you will perform, not just 2x, 3x, 10x, 15x better in terms of ROI.
Mm-hmm.
Because today's customer is accustomed to emails from Amazon, right? Whose entire email is actually personalized. The entire email and their entire front page, that's the dream. That's my dream. And tomorrow, in the entire Shopify store can be personalized to individual taste. So imagine that, and that has to be the. By the way, I was talking to Amazon's group head, and they're converting at 14 to 15% on email. 14% conversion rate, right? This is not click-through rate. 14% conversion rate. So they're doing something right? So. But we have to start from somewhere, and RFM is a good place to start. You get these segments, you can start using them on day one. You use them in email, you use them in automations, you use them in SMS, you use them in WhatsApp, and immediately you see the result when you start talking to customer like them. Immediately the customer starts responding way better. They start treating you like a brand that they love. Immediately starts building a connection with your brand.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes Amazon's emails are so personalized. I feel scared sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? How do you even know that?
The surprising thing is, Venkat, I was buying. I was lucky enough to be in Dubai in February, and I was buying myself a PlayStation 5. Okay, so as usual, I was going from retail store to retail store, and they did not have it. So I just Googled Amazon Middle East. I just went to the website, and I searched PlayStation 5, and surprisingly they had one in stock. So I ordered, and immediately, about, I think it's a day later, the Amazon email, which I always open just to get a sense of what Amazon is doing, so that we can try and copy that strategy for other merchants. And the most surprising part was that they had all the PlayStation 5 games in that email, because just bought PlayStation 5 a day back, and it just blew my mind, because I actually bought it. I actually ended up clicking on that and bought a game. So the strategy works. I mean, there is no way to put it. The strategy works. And I think that's what we should at least try and emulate. We're not Amazons of the world. We don't have those kind of resources. We don't have data science teams. But what we do have is, products like these that can create these segmentation, and we should use them as much as possible to their potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just opened a rabbit hole for me, so nice. So I believe Jamilya has a lot to add in terms of segmentation as well. So yep.
Well, what can you add after such a passionate presentation, actually? Yeah, so as Umair was mentioning, like, you can use different types of segmentation, whether you divide your customers by age, by their purchasing behaviors, geographic location, whatever works for you, just go for it. And however, when it comes to the context of like e-commerce, usually the best thing that we can track is the behavioral segmentation, because that's exactly what we can see on the website like what customers are actually buying, like the PlayStation. So you straight away you can send an offer for a game for PS5, or maybe they're actually looking for something a little bit more like hedonistic, like maybe they're looking for benefits, or they want to purchase something so their status is perceived differently. And companies actually can use behavioral segmentation to improve their marketing, again, like was mentioned so many times, and the effectiveness of those marketing strategies, using those insights to create personalized offering, like personalized experiences. And we know customer experience is the king right now. For those audiences, based not only on their, like, let's say, demographic information, but actually based on their needs, on their preferences, and the stage, maybe even the stage of the buying process. And to make it all easy, actually, like if you're on Shopify, you probably are already using it, and if you're not using it, you should be. Like if you can switch to the next slide, you guys can see that for Shopify stores, Shopify is already offering like an easy segmentation into groups called Shopify customer groups. Yeah, and again, depending on your needs, depending on how you want to target your customers, you can actually segment them by their purchasing habits, create different marketing campaigns for those people. There are also a lot of automations with apps like Omnisend or Klaviyo that can send out emails based on those customer groups, because there is also full like integration between those services. You can also target different buyers, like if it's a loyal customer that have made, like, is making purchase each month, or maybe it's somebody new that actually takes longer to make that purchasing decision. And you can create multiple customer groups by simply looking at previous purchases, like abandoned carts, or even just asking your customers, maybe they do have certain preferences. Like, you know, we usually get that questionnaire, like, do you prefer like receiving emails about women's clothing, men's clothing, children's wear? Yeah, so grouping those customers accordingly can help you to better focus your product offerings and marketing materials. And like in context of Growave, because Growave does offer multiple things within one let's say ecosystem as well. Like we do offer a loyalty program which can help you automatically segment your most loyal customers according to their VIP tier, and then the tag will appear again in Shopify backend right there. So again, you can tailor your offering to those customers, and segmenting customer base. I'm losing. It can bring a lot of different benefits. And make your offering more relevant to the customers. And such approach can help you to actually deliver better experience to the customer, especially when it's Black Friday. Everybody's competing in the same space. Competition is really tight. So you do want to stand out from the crowd to make sure that you actually capture the attention of those customers, whether it's via email or via your SMS or just sending them a push notification. You just want to make sure that you deliver the correct marketing to those target audiences while you're still keeping it open for the prospective customers that potentially can buy with you something else.
I think it's so cool that you showed how to do it in Shopify, right? So people can go back, they can start doing this, and like, you know, guys, try it out right now. So Umair, you know, something you said, you know, like we talked about the data, the amount of data you need to you know, create that kind of personalization. How do we go about collecting all that data, and like, you know, what is the analytics behind that? Right.
No, I think I cannot stress it enough, you know, and I get really passionate about this subject, and that data is you know, is the bedrock of personalization, and I think it should be a Black Friday T-shirt. I should get it, you know, printed and sell it to all the panelists. I should do like 3-4 webinars and live on the stream. I should sell it on TikTok in the US. No, but seriously, I think without collecting the data, without actually looking at the analytics of your what's happening to your store, right? And you can start very, very simply by looking at where the orders are coming from. I know you're going to say Google and Facebook, right? I mean, of course, like a lot of first purchases are being brought by Google and Facebook, but what's important is you're tracking everything, right? Because today maybe 80% of your sales is coming from Google and Facebook, but tomorrow when you grow as a brand and you have sales, you will have email, you will have text marketing, you will have your video might go viral on TikTok. So you should be tracking every single transaction. Every single transaction should be tracked on how, and there's a very easy way to do it. Inside Shopify, there is a Google Analytics plugin. Just install it and check box in the settings of enhanced e-commerce, so that it automatically puts all the pixels in place. You start tracking all the last click attribution, where the sale is coming from. At least it gives you a good, fair idea of where your sales are coming from, right? So that's the first step of collecting this data that I was talking about. Now, since you have collected all of this analytics, now you deep dive into, okay, which campaign and which ad set, because every single campaign, and I'm sure there are multiple people who are running multiple Facebook campaigns. At any given point of time, an e-commerce company is running 40 to 50 plus ad campaigns. Every campaign has about 10 ad sets. So 500 ad set, which one is popular? Which one is bringing which sale? Are you correlating segment data with what the product has been purchased? For example, if I tell you your big spenders, what are they buying? Are they buying the same things as your discount shoppers? Or is there like difference in products? Maybe out of 10 products, 6 might be similar, but those 4 products, if you can revolve your strategy around that for when you're building for big spenders versus discount shoppers, that could really turn up, your Facebook. So imagine treating your big spenders and the lookalike audience on your big spenders differently than your discount shoppers and the lookalike. So you can have different products and different images for both these different campaigns, and it could really be make or break for your campaign. So I think that's the kind of personalization that you would aspire to be. And analytics is an extremely important part. If you can move on to the next slide, Venkat. So we have a small video, but before that, we would just very quickly tell you about, metrics to track. For example, segment performance. How good your segment is performing? What is your average order value? What is your lifetime value? What is the RFM, recency frequency analysis? And what is the product level analytics? These are some examples of analytics that you should be aspiring. I don't mean this, I'm not trying to sell the project. I'm just saying that we built it because of feedback from merchants. Literally up until last year, we didn't have a product manager. And there was no need, because I told the team that we don't need product managers.
They have customers.
Clients are our product managers. They're going to tell you what to build. They're going to ask for features. They're going to ask for analytics. They're going to ask for more things in the software. And you just handpick, cherry pick that, validate the idea with other merchants, and just, go and build it. And the entire product was actually built. It's a very quick video. I think, Venkat, if you can just start. The team did a brilliant job in creating some of these graphics.
Do you want me to turn on the audio as well?
No, it's fine. I'll just talk them through it. I think my words are better than music at this point. Because Black Friday is so close. But as you can see in the video, some of the performance analytics I was talking about, every single order, you can actually find out where your sale is coming from. So it's not just a marketing automation tool, but it's also a bedrock of, tons of data that is being collected, where your sales are coming from, how do you compare between repeat orders and new orders? For example, have you ever checked that how many of your customers on a day-to-day or a month-to-month basis are returning customers? I'll give you a benchmark. About 30% of your customers are returning customers. That means they've visited your website at least one time before in the last 7 days, since we have an attribution window now. But in the last 7 days, they've visited your website and they're coming back to your website. So in that sense, then 30% of your purchases also should be repeat, which is not. I can tell you right now that 30% of all purchases are not repeat purchases. So if 30%, if you have on a day-to-day basis, 30% returning customers, then why don't you have 30%, 40% as your repeat purchases, revenue coming from repeat purchases? And that is the question that you have to ask yourself. Is the tracking in place? Are you collecting the data? Once you're collecting are you running the right set of campaigns? Are you reaching out to them in every single manner possible? Right? And once they're not responding to your channels, then are you reaching out through ads? So have you tried creating a segment which is of churn customer? Do you know at what point do you consider a customer churn? Right? Is it 60 days? Is it 45? Is it 120 days? I don't know the answer. The data has the answer. Those analytics has the answer right in them. And I am someone in the chat I saw ask them, can this software help retail? And absolutely. I mean, retail is an e-commerce. We talk about them as two separate entities. They are not. It's just a channel or a medium people are preferring online because, they can't be out and about without a mask shopping like they used to, because, if you haven't noticed, we've just went through a pandemic, so they're not shopping at retail as much they used to. Obviously they still are, but in 5 years time, retail and e-commerce are going to share the revenue 50% to e-commerce. So you can't have one strategy. You can't have, oh, I'm a retailer, or you cannot say I'm an e-commerce direct to consumer brand, which is digital first. That's why it is called digital first, because you started off digitally, but you eventually have to do retail, right? So it's a combination of both, and data forms an extremely. Now, you might not get behavioral signals from retail, like, what t-shirt they pick, because you can actually track what t-shirt they browsed on the website or what product they viewed, but you can't say, oh, this person who, bought this. But there are tons of data signals in your transactions that are happening, and because of the velocity of retail transactions, that means the amount of retail transaction that you're sitting on, your CRM, your loyalties, there is already tons of data that is there. And then you can use channels like new age channels like text marketing, like WhatsApp to reach out to them in a very meaningful way. So yeah, I think analytics is extremely important, and it forms like the stones that forms the base of that pyramid. And I keep on going back to pyramid. I think my visit to Egypt is due. I keep on thinking about the pyramids back and forth. So I think, but yeah, I think analytics you cannot do without. It's the oxygen of your e-commerce store if you want to not just survive but grow above and beyond other competing. Because sorry, I'm taking up a little more time, but just a very quick example here. A couple of days back, someone in my family said they want to start a new e-commerce brand, and they were asking me for tips. And I said, what category do you want to start? And they say, oh, women's nightwear. I said, great, absolutely brilliant. Do some research as to how many brands are present and what you will be competing. So they went on Instagram and they searched for some brands, and they said, oh, there are about 20-25 brands doing women's loungewear. And said, wait for it. Okay, just wait for it. And then Instagram started showing them ads after ads after ads, and said, oh, now I have received ads from about 150 more brands that are doing loungewear. So it's a cutthroat competing world. Everyone is competing for the same space. How are you different from the next brand, which is, also doing what you're not doing currently? So you have to up your game in terms of analytics. You have to understand where your the goal lies, and the goal lies in data. If you have enough data, if you have captured enough data, there is tons of signals that you can pick up that you can start doing. It doesn't need to be Black Friday. Trust me, it could be Valentine's Day for all that that matters. But you can start that. But if you don't have analytics, it's literally like driving your car with a blacked out front, basically without eyes closed, blindfolded. Basically, you're driving a car blindfolded. So yeah, I mean, be my guest, but I do not want to be anywhere near that car. I would stop. I would just take another detour, like a different highway altogether. I don't want to be anywhere near the car that's someone driving with a blindfold on. So
sounds like a Netflix's next game show. So
Black Mirror Black Friday special.
That's a good one. So personalization and segmentation is all about getting the right message to the right people at the right time, right? Like if you have repeat purchases, you might what you would send to a new customer, someone who has not bought anything from you, that message is going to be so different to someone who regularly purchases from you. So like you have a ton of existing customers. How do you loyalty reviews? I think that is where a lot of the post-purchase effort should be headed towards. So Jamilya, what are your thoughts?
I think it's not only the post-purchase, but post-purchase as well, but pre-purchase too. Like when it comes to customer reviews, like everybody knows that will have a significant impact on the customer buying decision, like whether they are actually going to make a purchase and become a customer, or they're just gonna stay a visitor forever. And when it comes to like customer reviews, again, that's usually the first thing that customer sees when they land on your website, whether they came through Instagram ad or maybe they found you organically on Google. So you do need to make sure that you do have reviews for the starters, right? To make sure that to eliminate those like uncertainties when it comes to like purchasing to the purchasing decisions. And here on the screen, you can actually see some statistics like, for example, 92% of customers do read online reviews and testimonials when considering a purchase. And almost the same amount are actually checking out online reviews before actually making a purchase in store offline. So even if you don't have that can affect it. And 88% like they do trust customer reviews as much as the personal recommendation from friends and family. And positive reviews definitely can help in making like increasing customer trust towards the brand, and again consecutively actually affecting their purchase decision. Sorry. Right. Yeah. And again, no secret, reviews do drive conversions, and they will help you to build trust. And I think it's about like 73% of customer online reviews can help you to drive up to like 73% more conversions. For example, lower cost products, and then in comparison to like almost 80-90% of like higher conversion rate for high value products. I think we can switch to the next slide. Yeah, but like the reviews are not only good for like driving conversions, they can actually also help you to, again, build trust, increase loyalty, improve retention. It's just the matter of how you actually handle those reviews. Like, because again, like it's written, bad reviews can be good for business. It's just the matter of how you handle it, whether you are trying to resolve the issue that has been reported in that review. And to ensure that like again, you need to make sure that those reviews are visible to customers when they're searching for the product, when they're searching for the testimonials about the product. Like try to make them visible, try to make them easy to read, try to add, I don't know, ratings and like adding different visual parts like star ratings and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's making like customer reviews user friendly. And then again, if you do receive a bad review, don't try to hide it. Don't try to over like edit those reviews, because that, first of all, that will ruin your credibility in front of not only that customer that have left a review, like he will know that you have changed it. But on the other hand, like just try to not over moderate those, because the more transparency there is, the higher the trust is going to be. And again, you can switch off to the next slide. Sorry. I think you skipped one.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And like when it comes to driving customer loyalty with customer reviews, there are different ways of how you can actually do that. And again, once again, like transparency is the key to actually converting those one-time buyers into repeat customers. Because like there was even research that have found like almost all of the customers, they tend to remain loyal to the brands that offer them complete transparency. I'm sorry, complicated. Yeah, and negative reviews can be a good opportunity to show that you care about these customers, that you their opinions matter, and that can again contribute to the positive brand image and consecutively increase loyalty. You can also provide incentives for those customers that have actually left a review, because what is a better way of saying thank you and converting the customer into like a loyal advocate of your brand rather than actually like giving them something back, you know? And yeah, and like there are different ways of how you can do that, and you can actually play in loyalty programs like to give those customers that have left a review like different discount codes for the future purchases, and again that can help to drive additional sales and increase in lifetime value of that customer.
Next slide.
Yeah, next slide. All right, that's also mine. Yeah. And again, as Umair was mentioning, like we are living today in a very hyper-connected world, and like any review or any single recommendation can have a really great impact on the purchasing behavior. And according to Nielsen, this is actually statistics from them, 92% of people trust recommendations from friends and family more than any other type of advertising. So no, especially again, if it is your first Black Friday, you haven't done Facebook ads yet, it is probably a bad time to start, because you will just waste your budget on Facebook ads, and that probably will cost you a lot without a significant return on investment. So another thing that you can be utilizing is actual word of mouth marketing. So just using your existing customers, whether they have made one purchase or multiple purchases, ask them to like spread the word and invite other people, like recommend you to their friends, family members, colleagues, I don't know, like housemates and stuff like that. That is just to encourage that natural word of mouth. Sorry. Yeah, especially like on social media, that works really well. And then have an explicit aim of promoting your brand and getting that exposure on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next slide. Yeah, and as mentioned, referral programs are really great way, and it is actually also cost effective of acquiring new customers for your business. And it's not only useful for actually bringing new customers in, but it is also a way of recognizing your loyal customers and then building like stronger relationships with them and increasing retention. So again, if that is especially if it's your first Black Friday, you can run, for example, you can install an app, run a limited time campaign that will reward both like referee and the referred customer in case if they make a purchase during a certain period of time. So yeah.
Yep. That was so much information packed in those 5 slides. Yeah. You touched upon customer retention, right? Like I remember reading somewhere, and it costs 5 times, 7 times more to acquire a new customer than to retain an existing one. So yeah.
I think like those statistics really differ. Like some places say 6, some places say 10, 15. So like,
the point is you need to focus on customer retention.
Absolutely, yeah. And
all of them are true. All the stats are true.
all of them are true. It just depends which ones you're comparing to. Everything is relative, right?
Yeah. So, Umair, I want to hear your thoughts as well on customer retention, especially the impact that it can have on your ROI.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've talked about, that today as well, that retention has to be a part of the strategy today. I mean, yesterday, not even today, like it has to be a part of the strategy yesterday. Because you can't just keep on spending for new user acquisition. You have to start retaining these customers, get them to buy again and again from, that is the real win. If someone can buy your product and come back and buy again, that is a massive win in my books, simply because that's a testament about your product, obviously, but that is also a testament about what your engagement with this customer like, right? Jamilya talked about reviews. It's a great social proof. It's absolutely. And who are writing these reviews are the people who have purchased from you. So a negative review, you turn into something positive. It's going to have, so that person is going to come back and think, okay, yeah, this is not like the other brands. I like them. They responded to my query. They took my review seriously, and I remember we had a 1-star review one time on Shopify, okay, our app, and I was furious with the team. I was like, what happened? Because this app owner, this store owner actually installed the app, okay, booked a meeting with one of our sales agents, and the meeting was for tomorrow, and he thought it's today, and he thought nobody showed up. There was no link or email, whatever, and then he just went and wrote the review. So I personally emailed him and said, what happened? Because we've had only 5-star reviews. What's the matter? And said nobody showed up to the meeting, and I was furious with the team. I was like, why is nobody showing up to the meetings? And then they sent me the screenshot that the meeting was actually booked for tomorrow, right? So I'm just saying that. But we then talked to him. We said, let's get on a call today. I personally took them through the platform. He loved it. He installed it. He's a customer today as well. It's been 12 months, and he's turned that 1-star review into 5-star. So it's extremely important to turn those, negative stories into positive. Mm-hmm. The second is obviously loyalty programs, extremely important. But you don't have to. So I know the mentality of merchants today is they calculate the amount they're paying for a software by the GMV that they're making. Oh, it's only costing me 0.5% of my GMV. And it's important to look at it in the right light. So I'm not going to name any loyalty programs, but I've seen some of them charge exorbitantly high to newer merchants. And I think loyalty is where you start kind of, start getting to know your customers and start to build a relationship with them. So choose wisely, which is suited to your store and caters to all the things that you want. And you have to nudge them, because I have 236 points on an XYZ store. How does it? It doesn't matter to me. I am going to spend my money on other things, other stores. If you don't tell me actively that I have these 236 points and they can translate into, $12 out of 60. That's so I think that's it's important to keep on nudging your customers with loyalty. It's not promotion. You're just updating them with loyalty. Mm-hmm. And use channels which they're active on: email, SMS, WhatsApp. Do whatever it takes to let them know that, hey, you have these many points, but they are expiring by the end of the month. So you might want to use these points. So you increase those. The person shopped a lot from your store. That's how he got those loyalty points in the first place. So might as well, reach out to him in any way possible, even if you have to pick up the phone and call. I just read a tweet from Brennan, I think, from Shopify, saying that people are actually sending real mail, like, mailers, not emails. People are sending real mails now, the catalogs to customers' houses, and it's working. People are actually buying. And, I was like, okay, so do whatever it takes don't show up at their house, please. Never do that. It's very creepy. But at least, if do whatever it takes to reach out to your customers. Send them a WhatsApp, send them a text message, send them emails, and nudge them in the right direction that, hey, you have these many points. And obviously there is so much potential in personalized communication that it's only tapped the surface. There is so many things that you can talk to the customer, and not just that, oh, we have a Black Friday sale. And I think it's just the mentality of forgive me for saying this, but it's a herd mentality that you see a marketer doing. If I open my inbox today and search for go into the promotion draw, I'll only have Black Friday 50%, Black Friday 40%, Black Friday 99%. Someone is giving out for free the inventory. I don't know what. I mean, I'm not going to open all of those emails. So remember to stand out from that crowd as well. You have to be. It's not only about discounts. Obviously, it's extremely important to get the right set of customers on your website, get them to view the particular product. Discounts are important because this is Black Friday, but you don't have to compete by giving a higher percentage of discount. You have to stand out by the virtue of better marketing, and better marketing means less discount, right? So it could be a quirky line on an email that gets you an open, right? It could be, I don't know. I mean, I've read some amazing copies. It could be the timing of it. It could be loyalty points update. Imagine everyone is talking about Black Friday and say, hey, by the way, you have these many points which expires on Black Friday. And also we're running a sale, just in case you didn't know, right? It's Black Friday. So I think it's a great way to kind of combine these different solutions and present it and nudge the customer to improve your customer retention, because there is only two ways you're going to make money as a business, right? A, you improve your conversion rates. That means if you're spending $1,000 to get X amount of traffic from Facebook, Google, Instagram, you convert more customer, right? You today converting 2.5%, 3%, 4%, you got to convert at 8. Like I said, Amazon converts, some of the pages convert at 40%. I mean, we're not going to convert at 40%, but you get the idea, right? That's the aspiration has to be that we want to reach 10% conversion rate so that, you get more sales out of the same traffic. The second is you increase customer retention. You get them to buy again and again. You increase their customer lifetime value, CLTV, right? And the way you increase, the moment you do that, do these two things, that's the moment your business will start making money, and you will be literally you will stop getting Black Friday emails. You will start getting venture capitalist emails saying that, hey, I looked at your brand. It seems extremely this thing. You will get, I think, around 50 odd emails from Thrasio itself, from different analysts trying to poach you and your business. But jokes apart, I think these are the only two ways you're going to make money after spending X amount of dollars on marketing, on acquisition.
Yeah, this man selling the dream. Every e-commerce business is a dream. So we are at 10:30 already. So we'll quickly take the questions, 5-10 minutes. So guys, drop in the questions now. I think Jamilya and Umair, they're going to be more than happy to take your questions. If it's going to be related to loyalty or reviews, Jamilya can take it.
So this is a question.
One question.
Yeah.
It says
buying email or text database. I think, okay, so that's spam. Okay, straight up. Okay. And we also do cold emails as a business. We do cold emails, and that's fine because there is a value proposition of what we're telling them, and we can clearly say, hey, this is a cold email, right? So if you're interested, so it's extremely important. Text, especially in the US, is not a good idea simply because you can get into trouble with TCP/AA compliance, which you have to have express permission for you to be able to send a message to this gentleman. I mean, you can do it from your own personal as a sales guy, but like I would not recommend this as a e-commerce business, simply because if you're buying it, you don't know if the permission is there, and the penalties can go from $5,000 to $100,000 or more, right? So you don't want to be in a situation where you're paying penalties because you send out a text message to a database.
All right. So, okay, we have one more question. Jamie asks, is there a way to generate the customer's name in push notifications or emails without manually doing individual names? Of course, there are. Do you guys want to take this?
Is there a way to generate customer name in push notification or email? So push notification, by the virtue of it, are anonymous in nature because you've given them, the customer is giving you permission by allowing or blocking. There's no recording of name at that point. As a software, there is virtue in mapping the name whenever they give next. But I just feel that push notification, they're so intrusive in nature that you don't need a name at all. You will either get a click or you will be completely ignored. And if you send too many, you will be blocked from sending push notifications. So I just feel that yes, personalization and push notification is equal to you sending out relevant content in the push, personalized content rather than name. And for email, I'm sure every email software has this tags that you can use, which is picking a first name from recorded, from the database. Almost all these softwares that we know that send out email does that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, do we have more questions, guys? Yeah, we have one from an anonymous attendee. Someone values that.
I think that one is for me, right?
Sometimes creating rewards and mapping customer journey to achieve something tedious. Any tips on this?
All right. Yeah, it definitely can take a lot of time and effort, especially if you're just starting out and not sure where to start. As I was mentioning, like our software, our loyalty program, it consists of 3 separate things. So first one is the points program, then the next one is referrals, and the last one is the VIP tiers. So if you're not sure like how to segment the customers and at what stage of their buyer like customer journey they are, maybe they're just starting out or maybe they are repeat customers, our software can actually automatically detect that because it is integrated with Shopify backend, so you technically don't have to do anything. It will tell you, like, you just set up like whether you want to recognize those VIP customers by their amount spent or by the number of purchases that they have made in the past. Mm-hmm. And that will automatically allocate them in the relevant VIP tier. So then later on, like using that data again, you can just tailor the offering to them. And again, there are different emailing softwares that can actually take you take that further, that like email and like SMS personalization to the next level, so it's a little bit more relevant to those customers, and it shouldn't be too complicated if you automate everything. Like you just have to know where to start.
Mm-hmm. So more questions. So, we'll wait for a couple of minutes to see if we get any questions. So in the meantime, I have a question for you. Like, what are your predictions for this BFCM, like both of you guys? In terms of, it could be in terms of number or how soon it's going to be. So,
well, I think it has already started. Let's put it that way. Yeah, like I think we already discussed it at the beginning. I'm not sure if that was recorded or that was before. Like you know how like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it's definitely starting earlier this year. And it's not only the promotional part, consumers are actually already shopping for it and already looking for different orders. And you can just even like open up on Google, like Black Friday 2021, you will see lots and lots of different offers already out there, even before the November started technically, and most likely that it will go beyond the regular like Cyber Monday. Most like it is possible that it will extend all the way to like holiday season like Christmas and New Year.
Yeah.
What are your predictions?
I think it's going to be possibly the biggest. Obviously, it's going to, every year it breaks previous records, but this year especially, I think simply because by the virtue of people are just more positive in their outlook because things have started to open up. Travel is back, so tourists are back, and just by the virtue of, I think people are just, you know, they have a lot of pent up demand which is lying there. And I just feel that this is all going to go, people are going to go angry on their wallet as like, wow, I'm going to shop the hell out of this Black Friday. So I think even if you don't have a strategy yet, just go and get going right this second, and you will be able to like achieve numbers that you've not achieved the entire year in just like on one weekend. So and that's what I've seen. People do the entire year's worth of sale in a single day. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait for my servers to cool down once the Black Friday is over, because it's literally I can sense it. We are hosted on Google Cloud, and I can sense someone cursing me at Google Cloud as, what the hell is happening at this software? Why is it burning up? Why is it taking up all my space? And it's because we have hundreds of millions of campaigns across different channels going out, literally every second, every minute.
All right, so we don't have any question. We don't have any more questions. So let me quickly summarize the entire session, right? Like, so automate as much as you can, personalize as much as you can, aim to get as many reviews as you can, and focus on your customer retention. That's really a low-hanging fruit, right, Jamilya? Wouldn't you agree? So yeah, so I think that is it, guys. Like, we've come to the end of the session. Thank you so much for staying up until the very end. Thank you, Jamilya and Umair, for, you know, it was a wonderful session. Like, it was amazing.
Thank you for hosting us.
Thanks, Umair.
Yeah,
thanks.
I hope you guys have a wonderful BFCM 10x sales, right? And possibly that email from VCs.
No need.
All right. Have a good day. Cheers.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and really appreciate Venkat and Shrikant to put this together. And thanks, Jamilya, for joining us. And I best of luck for Black Friday.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right.